When we do that, it gives us brownie points.
Yes, exactly.
We need all the brownie points we can get.
I've been married 42 years, and I think about that a lot. I try to be careful. I just want to make sure that I'm careful and respectful, and be a nice person. Yeah, Lord.
Yeah, just to bear and reflect Christ as best as we can, because I mean, the more time we spend with Him, a reflection, for Romans says, this is our purpose, and we're predestined to be conformed to the image of Christ, and that's maybe conformed to us, and we all, I think, will do much better if we don't look at the other person, because many times, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I will say it, when we're talking about marriage and relationships, I remember one time several years ago like that, you think, well, man, she's just not treating me right or doing this right like that, and I remember in prayer, because a lot of times we'll say, love your neighbor as you love yourself, know, and you think that's always to the other person or doing others as you'd have them do. But it's just like the Lord really in my spirit, this is with your wife as well too, He said, and, another person, and it might not be right, but He says, you're wanting to be like me. Okay, this other person's not an issue right now. This is me and you. You want to be more like me. You want to be Christ-like. So, then you do the right thing. You override that. Don't worry about you, what you need, what you want. You know, you give sacrificial love, and and I think when we all do that, I guess in marriage, if we all take up on that attitude, it's a win-win situation. When we get outside of ourselves, like, well, what can I do to meet her needs? And she's important to me, it's not about me right now. I said, if I can really have that attitude consistently, you got to work on it. But then on vice versa, if she says, well, it's not about me, what can I do to help my husband, support my husband? I said, if both have that attitude, it's a win-win situation,
Yeah, both are there to be served, to serve. I mean, if both are there to serve, I think that makes a difference.
Not like domineering, or love. Let it be motivated by love.
Yes.
There's a growing in all that.
Well, let's talk about one more topic that I think is very important. Let's talk about forgiveness. And I know forgiveness is such an important topic in people's lives, because I think it controls so much in your life, from your health to your family to everything. I mean, what are some thoughts on forgiveness when you think about it? I mean, what are we talking about?
Well, obviously, the Lord commands us to forgive. I mean, if you go through life long enough, you're going to need to ask for forgiveness for yourself, because you've maybe been offensive or said things you're wrong, whether in your own family or someone else, and you're going to have to give that forgiveness. Someone once said, forgiveness is not so much many times for the other person, but it's for you. Right. And I believe that a lot, because it harbors you. On the same token, we didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve forgiveness, but the Lord forgave me. And as His Word says, the same way that we're to forgive others, And it's a powerful statement. He says, if we harbor that, you're human, and things can hurt you. You can be hurt or offended, or someone say something or do something wrong. That till Jesus comes, that's going to be part of the world. It might happen to you again. It may happen tomorrow to someone. But the quicker you can let that go,
that's the key, I believe,
and address it, and not let that harbor into bitterness and a hard heart. Well, I'll forgive them, but I'll, this attitude. You need to deal with that quickly and not let it harbor.
It gets bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah. I remember years ago. Is this all right?
Yes, sir.
Years ago, and this is a long time ago, the Lord dealt with me in a message, and I had a dream. And because it's really, I guess, on this issue we're talking about. I was kind of a young Christian, maybe been preaching a couple, 3 or 4 years, and by maybe another minister, something just kind of really bothered me, hurt me, And I had this dream, and in the dream, it's like I had this plant, and I planted like a little tree or flower over there and left it, and it's like the Lord said, go dig it up. So I go and I dig it up. He said, plant it over here. So I go and I plant the tree over there, leave it a few days. He said, dig it up again. I go and I dig it up. So this happens like about 3 times. And He says, go and now leave it. And it's like all this is happening fast in the dream. Right. And then it's like leave it for about a few months. And He says, go back. Well, the tree had grown like 6 or 8 feet. He says, now just pull it up. and I'm pulling, and it won't pull up. You know, it's good, and I'm pulling on it like that.
Yeah.
You know, because the roots, you know, it had taken time. You know, and it's like immediately I knew what that dream meant in my spirit. And it's just the same way like when offenses come, get it up immediately while it's still fresh.
Right.
Because when I pulled up that tree, it hadn't had time to grow roots.
Right.
But the longer that tree grew there, it started getting roots
deeper
in the ground and deeper. And the longer I let that harbor
Right.
in my heart and
Yeah.
spirit, you know, it was like, deal with it now.